What's good, y'all? What's the numbers TV? It's your boy Paul Rowe. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already, and like a video if you appreciate the content that Paul Rowe and What's the Numbers I provided. Today we back with another profile piece. This was on Kenneth Cherry, aka Kenny Clutch, out of Oakland, California, and Ammar Harris, and the situation they had out in Las Vegas after leaving the Aria Hotel, which led to the shooting and death of Cherry and two others on the Vegas Strip. So first we're going to take a look at what we do know, which is that on the early morning hours of February 21st, 2013, Kenneth Cherry was shot on the Vegas Strip and killed. Now, as he's getting shot, he's sitting in his Maserati and he ends up hitting his gas and speeding into the intersection. Once he does that, he collides with a cab and the cab ends up blowing up, killing the driver and the passenger that was riding in the cab at the time. Now, within a few days, within a few hours really, the police they got a suspect in mind, and they start letting out reports that they're looking for a man by the name of Ammar Harris, who's known as a pimp. So after a nationwide manhunt, it doesn't take long for Ammar Harris to be located. He is again arrested out in Los Angeles, out in the San Fernando Valley, and ultimately extradited back to Vegas to face charges on murder on these three individuals. Now this is where we're going to start taking a deeper look into what happened, what led up to the shooting, if there was an altercation, if they knew each other, if it was random. We're going to see what was argued in court, what was the verdict in court, and where we stand at today with Ammar Harris and what's currently going on right now in 2020 with him. So after he gets arrested in LA, he brought back to Vegas to eventually face stand trial and, start building his defense and all that. But before he could do that, he has to face old charges he had, which is a rape and robbery charge. And he also gets brought up on some new charges of bribery while he was locked up for, having people on the outside, some girls on the outside, bring some guards, some cell phones and liquor and food, and the guards smuggled it in. He ends up catching a new case with that. But none of that really matters when it comes down to the big case, which he's facing the death penalty on. So eventually that's the case that he goes to trial on. And, things start to come out as far as what happened. The defense is arguing that he was acting in self-defense, basically, that he was protecting himself. And the prosecution is saying that it was a case of mistaken identity. So we're going to take a look at both angles and see which one, looks to be the truth, if either one is the truth. So first we're going to take a look into what the prosecution is saying happened. And they're saying it was all mistaken identity. They got the girlfriend of Ammar Harris to testify, and what she's basically saying is that it was mistaken identity also. So what we do know is that Ammar Harris, a friend of his, and a couple girls was at the Aria Casino Hotel at the Hayes nightclub inside the Aria. Now, there's some type of altercation, or he gets this type of argument throughout the night. There's like a video that it shows like a little altercation in front of the hotel, in front of the valet area. It doesn't really show Ammar Harris. You can't really see too clear, but he is around though. So now there's a guy that is initially going at it. Like I guess he's the person that getting into it with everybody, right? The girls are saying that Ammar Harris pulled up on the side of Kenny Clutch's Maserati basically, and she's letting him know that's not the same guy that you was arguing with. That's not him. And at that point, he tells her to lean back, whatever, and they have words. And that's when he reaches over and shoots at Kenny Clutch, basically hitting him one time. And then they speed off and go back to wherever they go. That's what the prosecution is saying, right? Now, the defense is saying that it was self-defense, that he had a gun or whatever, even though Kenny Cherry's father, states that his son was never found. There was no gun. He didn't have no gun. It wasn't no self-defense. There was no type of shooting back and forth. There was no rolling gunfight that made him shoot his son, basically. So that's what we're saying as far as the two different theories. One is saying it was mistaken identity. The defense is saying it was self-defense. But what we do know to be true is that it left a big mess on the Vegas Strip with 3 dead and no definite story to what happened. So what I did, I want to talk about real quick. I went and watched the video. They had trial. They broadcast the trials on YouTube, and they played the video of that night as far as like Ammar Harris coming to the club, getting his table, leaving, coming back with his entourage, going to the club, partying. Before he's leaving, there's some type of altercation outside that doesn't really have nothing to do with him. Then he comes out. Then he gets like some words, but it's not really that much words. At this time, Kenny Clutch just keeps circling around the valet, going into the lobby, coming back out. This is all throughout the night, throughout the little time that they're all in that same area. So what I get from the video is basically it looks like there's an altercation outside. It looks like Kenny Clutch walking inside and out. He ends up knowing one of the people that was in the confrontation. It doesn't look like it was threatening towards him. It looked like it was a friendly conversation. And I guess sometime throughout that, Ammar Harris must have seen them all together. And then when he sees Kenny Clutch car come back around, he walks up to the Maserati. I guess they had a little bit of words, and that's when Kenny Clutch, you can see his car pull off. And that's when everything happens a few minutes later on the Vegas Strip, with them coming side to side and the shooting taking place. So eventually at the trial, Ammar Harris is convicted and found guilty of the murders of them 3 and a bunch of other charges. He ends up getting sentenced to death imprisonment, basically the death penalty. And he's like one of the 80-something inmates that's on death row right now in Las Vegas. He's one of them. Now, I know the other story that people were saying was that it was over a girl that supposedly one of Ammar Harris's girls chose up to Kenny Clutch. You know how it is with pimping. They say pimping is a no-contact sport, but supposedly Ammar Harris felt the way, and that's what sparked the shooting over some money that he was going to lose with the girl. Now, I don't know for sure. Now, I did used to be in, the reason why I'm aware of this situation, because I used to be in Oakland when all this happened, and a couple people I was around and knew the individual that, this happened to. So that's how I was aware of this situation. So I thought about it. I said, let me look and see what went on with this, and that's when I bring y'all this story. But yeah, shout out to East Oakland, man, the town. I used to be up and down East 14. I used to be in Antioch, Pittsburgh, San Leandro, all that, man. So shout out to y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of love for the Bay. But yeah, man, it's a quick video. What's the Numbers TV? It's your boy Poro. Share, like, subscribe. We almost at 20,000 subscribers, man. I appreciate y'all. And I'll be back before you know it, man. I'm out of here. Peace.